Coming off winning the NFC and having an appearance in the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles are slated to select 4 times within the first 4 rounds of the 2023 NFL Draft. Really, the first 3 rounds, but this is a 4-round mock draft as it's been throughout the entire exercise. Hello, everybody. My name is Zachary Smith. Welcome to another video. If you could please subscribe to the channel down below, leave me a like, hit that notification bell, and also leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about this video, anything that you've seen in the past, anything that you want to see in the future. So yeah, we're gonna be going through doing a Philadelphia Eagles 4-round mock draft today. I'm doing a 4-round mock draft for every team in the NFL according to where they pick, although that got a little wrench thrown into it with the Panthers jumping up to number 1 after I'd already done the Chicago Bears at number 1, so kind of had to flip those 2 spots. But yeah, Philly having a top 10 pick considering the year that they just had, being able to bring back guys that they probably like. I didn't think James Bradbury was going to be back, and if he was, that probably meant sacrificing Darius Slay. They have both those guys back. Obviously, losing Javon Hargrave, though, TJ Edwards as well, Kaiser White. You know, there's names that they've lost here. So even though they're coming off winning the NFC and in a Super Bowl appearance, it's not like they don't have needs to address as well. So we will get into this and see if we can't get them back to the Super Bowl again, and what they'll have every opportunity to do so, in my opinion, in that NFC. All right, so here we go. Tyree Wilson, there it is. Tyree Wilson before Will Anderson. There it is. A lot of smoke to that, by the way. Also, for the sake of this exercise, we're not doing any trades. We're sticking and picking. I've gotten a lot of enticing trades while going through these. That I'm like, yeah, would definitely make that if I could, but not going to do that. In this spot here, you know, I think, is it what I would do, or like looking at team tendency? When you look at Howie Rosman, you think trenches. The way that he's always kind of, he keeps it going, you know, with defensive line and offensive line, even if there is somebody currently in place right there, setting up for the future. I think Miles Murphy makes a ton of sense. I think Miles Murphy screams Philadelphia Eagles. Like Jalen Carter sliding would have made a ton of sense to me too. This corner still makes sense in your opinion? I mean, obviously, like Bradbury's back, but he's not getting any younger. Darius Slay's 32 at this point. You have both those guys back on their deals. Fonte Maddox actually, like, I don't know if everybody's very familiar with his contract situation, but like, he's definitely there. I think he's going to be like their starting nickel guy. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out too. But I think you could certainly add to that room. What about another receiver? Like, I've seen some people start to mock them. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, the receiver out of Ohio State, and just get stupid with that offense. I mean, you talk about being able to line him up with Devontae Smith, with AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, and you know what they can do in the run game, let alone what that opens up in the passing game. They'd be unguardable as if they weren't already, but they'd be scoring like 37 points a game in that scenario. So, you know, I think that there's a lot of options here, but trying to be like relatively predictive here, I'm going to go Miles Murphy. You know, how about what the case for, I haven't even talked about Bijan Robinson, who I gave them in a previous one. I think they're going to view that as a little too rich. To me, Bijan is definitely like a top 5 player in this class, but positional value is going to come into play for a lot of teams. Like, somebody I think will take him in the top 15, like Philly, being that it's a luxury pick for them. When you talk about like just where they were at last year, being able to return a good bit of that roster, losing Miles Sanders, like a lot of it, you could make the case, right? But to me, when I look at Howie Roseman, just hard to see him pulling the trigger on something like that. So I think Miles Murphy makes a ton of sense. A guy that you can line up in different formations and can rush from a lot of different spots. But really what he's going to provide immediately is a run defender. I think like the athlete he is, there's a lot to grow into as a pass rusher, but immediately like as that strong end run defender, I think they're really going to covet him if Jalen Carter doesn't slide. Anthony Richardson to Tennessee at 11. Why does Pittsburgh keep taking Jordan Addison in these? I just did a Carolina Panthers mock, and same thing. Jordan Addison at 17. See, now this is really interesting because Bijan is still on the board. Oh, man, Philly fans are going to kill me, I think. Like, one way or the other. People are either going to be like, yeah, take him, or they're going to be like, why would you take a running back in the first round? This is so good. Like, to me, I don't even have to scroll, I don't think, past this point, because If it's not Bijan, it is Anton Harrison or DeJuan Jones getting ready for, life after Lane Johnson. Because it goes back to like the Howie Rosman philosophy of just building within the trenches. I said I didn't have to scroll further, but let's just out of curiosity scroll further. Kalijah Cansey, too. Just because I think this is one of the few spots where it's like you can hide how, because he's non-existent in the run game. He might be like the best pass rusher overall in this class, if not at least interior pass rusher. But he offers you nothing in the run game. How do you hide that? Put him next to Jordan Davis. I think Philly makes a ton of sense for him. I really like Ade Adebawari too. He's listed as an edge. To me, he's not an edge. There's a lot of good names still here for. Um, I'm having such a hard time with this. And this is I mentioned this too in the last one that I did, but like doing this in real time, you guys are getting this like I don't know how the computer is going to select. So in the moment, I am deciding who I'm going to take with each selection. I'm really having like a debate internally with myself about it. Uh we don't pick again for a while, right? 62. Yeah, and it's like there's not going to be a tackle at that point. Uh, I want to have fun, but I got to go Harrison. To me, like after Paris Johnson, like I there's not a ton of tackles in this class, in my opinion, that are just like, yep, that's a left tackle. Like Paris Johnson's really the only one from day one. I like Broderick Jones, but he's still so raw to me. Like I think my friend Derek put it perfectly, in my opinion. Like he's a year away from being a year away, still so raw at the position, so new to it, and it's just like from a technical standpoint he gets too high like immediately on his pass sets and his hands get too wide. People get leverage, get up under him. So he loses his base of power there. But I really like, his overall game. I think he's going to be a really good player at the next level. I just don't know that it's from day one. So Paris Johnson Jr. to me is really the only guy. It's like, yep, that guy's a left tackle from day one and you don't have to worry about him. Skoronsky, I don't necessarily have I feel like as big of a concern with the arm length stuff. I mean, he's going to have to answer questions on his own. I think the success of Rashawn Slater did well, but still, is he going to be able to play left tackle, or is he a guard, or is he a right tackle? Interesting questions for him to answer. Um, but what I was getting at there is Anton Harrison, I feel like has as good of a shot playing left tackle and sticking as anybody in this class. Like there's some really good right tackles, DeJuan Jones, Darnell Wright. I think those guys are going to be, really good right tackles. Who else besides Paris Johnson Jr. and obviously further down the line, in my opinion, Broderick Jones, can you feel really confident about playing on the left side? Now we have a left tackle for Philly in Mailata, but again, it doesn't hurt to have a guy on the right side that could play on the left side at a pinch. Did the Steelers and Browns just trade with each other? Seattle got Julius Brents. So they got Brents and Tariq Woolen. What is that? That's ridiculous. Towers over there. Um, this is an interesting spot. So far we got Miles Murphy and Anton Harrison. I feel really good about the value of both those picks. Now the question is where do we go? I think secondary should be in play here. Oh, I might just found my pick. Antonio Johnson to me is listed as a safety, but I think he can play in the box. I think he can play some nickel too. To me, I think I'm between him. I think I'm between him and Keanu Benton. Go further down just to make sure I'm not oh, could wait a little bit. I mean, Steve Avila is such a good player, but I don't. Another offensive lineman. Manuel Forbes is an absolute ball hawk, but Philly doesn't seem to me like they'd be the team to take a chance on that outlier, just 160 some pounds. Very light for a corner, great ball skills, but Yeah, I'm gonna go Antonio Johnson. It was between him and that's tough. I really like Keanu Benton too, but I trust, Roseman to be able to find value later on if he's still trying to address those trenches inside. Some people might talk like try to talk themselves into Siaki Ika. I'm not a fan of him personally. And again, like I'm trying to be predictive, so I guess my, how I feel shouldn't really play into it as much, but I don't know. I just absolutely no athleticism there. He's all just about eating up space. All right. And then with our last pick here, wow. Yeah, I know where I'm going with this. I think let me ooh. All right, so I'm between do I want to add speed at receiver or running back? Tyler Scott, ridiculous speed out of Cincinnati. Absolute burner. I think you can feel pretty good about him, like as a gadgety role type guy, but I think, as a slot weapon too. But Izzy Abanikanda, keeping him in PA is very enticing too. So losing Miles Sanders to free agency. Yeah, like I know they brought in what's his name, Rashad Penny, who like if he could stay healthy, that's he's a decent player. Huge question though. Jaden Reed is very enticing too as a slot. Yeah, I'm gonna go Izzy. Izzy's getting busy in Philly. Um, I just think value at that point too good. This is probably about the range where he's going to go. But in this running back class, man, like I don't know, after the top couple, I think he has, as good of a case. The way that he tested athletically was ridiculous at Pitt's Pro Day. Super fast, jumped super high. He tested out of this world, and I think that that's really going to impact his stock for the better. So I'm excited about that. Also, if I could, I would be trading up right now to get Jaden Reed. Yeah, he goes right there to Minnesota. Yeah, we don't have another pick, but I feel good about this. If I'm a Philly fan, I'm pretty excited about this haul. Again, I know I'm probably going to get some people that are like super high on Bijan, and I'm super high on Bijan that are like, oh, I would have taken him. Definitely a 30, if not even like I would have taken him at 10 and not really questioned it. But at 30, I think I'm gonna have some backlash for that. But hey, I'm all for it. So let me know in the comments how you feel about that selection, as well as all the other ones: Miles Murphy, Anton Harrison, Antonio Johnson, and Israel Abanikanda. I feel good about this haul from Philly. I think that especially given that playing in the NFC, although the division itself, easily the most loaded of the divisions in the NFC, they got a shot to just get right back there in the Super Bowl next season. I know they're going to be looking for revenge. Um, but really like what Philly's done lately. Very excited about the future of that team and Jalen Hurts. So let me know how you feel about this draft haul. Let me know how you feel about any past videos, what you want to see in the future. I'm going to keep trying to grind out these draft content with these 4-round mock drafts for every team leading up to the draft. So subscribe to the channel. Leave me a like, hit that notification bell. And once again, like I said, leave me a comment down below to let me know how you're feeling. Until next time, we'll see you.